Dear my high student, session number 24 secondary 3. أعزائي طلاب الصف الثالث الثانوي، أهلا بكم وحلقة جديدة وproblems in transformer. احنا قلنا الترانسفورمر الفانكشن بتاعته كان step up or step down AC فولت، ولو قلنا step up للفولت كان هيبقى step down للكرنت. الايديال ترانسفورمر يعني no lose energy efficiency 100%، وعندنا ال V divided V secondary divided V primary ده الفيرست لو equal N secondary divided N primary equal I primary divided I secondary، لأن ال V directly مع ال N inversely مع الكرنت. ده لو كان ايديال. طب لو هنا في لوز في الانرجي، يبقى لوز في الانرجي يبقى في efficiency، والefficiency باور اوف secondary coil to باور اوف primary coil، او VI secondary coil to V للsecondary coil، VI للsecondary coil divided VI للprimary coil، يبقى باور اوف secondary over باور اوف primary V out over VN. ما ننساش ان الباور للسكندري equal V في الاي secondary، والباور اوف برايمري ايكوال في في الاي. لكن لو عندي 2 secondary coil هيبقى الافشنسي باور secondary 1 بلس باور secondary 2 divided الباور برايمري. تعال نشوف كده مع بعض. Problem number 1. A step down transformer is put at end of transmitting lines of electric current. It step down. قال لنا هنا step down، يبقى معنى كده ان ال VS less than VB وال NS less than NP وال IS greater than IB. The volt from 2400 volt to 120 volt and the power produced 13.5 kilo watt and the efficiency 90%. So the number of turn of secondary coil given the number of turn of the primary coil 4000 turn. وعندنا هنا 4 choose، يا اما 200 turn or 222 turn or 202 turn or 4000 turn. And the intensity of current in two coils سواء البرايمري or secondary، وهنا 2 or 6 2.2 and 1.1 6.25 and 112.5 2 and 201 أمبير. تعال نشوف الانسرز كده. طبعا عندنا الافشنسي باور اوف secondary of باور اوف برايمري. الافشنسي equal باور اوف secondary coil of باور اوف primary coil. ممكن اقول الافشنسي V primary over V secondary، او الافشنسي multiply V primary divided V secondary equal N primary over N secondary I secondary over I primary. تعال نعوض. الافشنسي 0.9 اللي هي كانت 90%، 90 divided 100 0.9. ال V primary 2400 but ال V secondary 120 equal ال N primary 4000 and ال N secondary دي unknown. طب تعال نشوف الكرنت للسكندري 112.5 and الكرنت للبرايمري unknown. So اقدر اجيب الكرنت للسكندري. الباور سكندري equal I secondary I primary، الباور سكندري I secondary V secondary، كمان الباور برايمري I primary V primary. هنا الباور للسكندري 13500 equal I secondary multiply 120. So ان ال I secondary equal 112.5 أمبير. نقدر نعوض في القانون الافشنسي 0.9 multiply 2400 divided 120 equal 4000 divided n secondary يعني equal 1112.5 divided I primary. So the number of turn of secondary coil given that the number of turn of primary coil 4000 هيبقى الانسرز 222 turn. Problem number 2. Calculate the efficiency of a step-down transformer 110 volt into 35.5 volt. So the ratio of number of coils 5 divided 2. وقال لي هنا في 4 choose الافشنسي 45% or 70% or 80% or 40%. Answers questions number 2 الefficiency power of secondary over power primary power efficiency V primary over V secondary equal N primary over N secondary يبقى الefficiency multiply 110 divided 35.2 equal 5 divided 2. So الefficiency هنا 0.8 or 80%. Problem number 3 ودي جت في Egypt سنة 68. If the potential difference of step down قلنا step down معناها ان ال V secondary less than V primary أو ال I secondary greater than I primary. وبيقول لي هنا is 200 فولت يبقى ده ال V primary وقايل لي للسكندري 49 فولت من الواضح ان هو ستيب داون يبقى ال V secondary less than V primary. So the intensity of current which passes in the primary coil if the intensity of electric current which passes in the secondary coil 10 ampere. وهنا بيقول لي given that 2% of electric power is lost during transferring to the secondary coil. والمطلوب هنا الكرنت في passing in the primary coil هل هو 2 أمبير ولا 8 أمبير ولا 2.5 أمبير ولا 4 أمبير. خلي بالك من حتة given that 2% of power lost معنى ان في ال 2 lost يبقى الافشنسي هنا كان 98%. يبقى حضرتك فقدنا 2% يبقى هنا الافشنسي 98%. Answers questions number 3 الافشنسي power of secondary divided power of primary or VI secondary over VI primary. So الافشنسي قلنا power of secondary power primary VI secondary VI primary equal 49 multiply 10 divided 900 multiply I primary. So the intensity of current which passes in the primary coil if the intensity of electric current which passes in the secondary coil is 10 ampere given that efficiency given that 2% of electric power lost in the secondary coil the answer is 2.5 ampere. Problem number 4 it is required to transfer an electric power of 80 kilowatt from the power stations to factory which is at 2 kilometers from stations. If the potential difference at stations is 400 volt and the resistance of 1 kilometer of heat conducting of wire is 0.1 ohm. وهنا بيقول لي for choose the lost power، وقال لي number 1 1000 watt، number 2 9000 watt، number 3 6000 watt، and number 4 16,000 watt. And when the transformer is used as a step up transformer at stations to step up the volt to 1000 volt. What is the value of the lost power? Number 1 1000 watt, number 2 9000 watt, number 3 640, and number 4 16,000 watt. تعال نشوف الانسرز. نمبر 4 الاي برايمري equal 840 divided 400 equal 200 ampere. By total resistance equal 4 multiply 0.1 equal 0.4 ampere. So the lost power I square R 40,000 multiply 0.4 equal 16,000 watt. And the current equal 80,000 divided 2,000 equal 40 ampere. But the power equal I square R يبقى 1600 multiply 0.4 equal 6040 watt. ودي كانت الفاينل اوف problems 4. problems number 5. A step down transformer. قلنا step down transformer معناها 3 حاجات. أول حاجة ال V secondary greater than less than ال V primary، يبقى ال V primary أكبر. number 2 ال N primary greater than N secondary. and number 3 ال current في ال primary greater than ال current في secondary. ال current في ال primary less than ال current في ال secondary coil. يبقى ال high الباور للبرايمري greater than power of secondary. ال V secondary less، ال N secondary less، ال N secondary less. تعال نشوف كده. يبقى بيقول لي source of 2500 volt given that ال current 80 ampere. So the ratio between number of primary، احنا قلنا number of primary يبقى high، يبقى 20 to 1. وبيقول لي الافشنسي هنا is 80%. So the induced EMF of 2 terminals of the coil while for choose 100 or 9000 or 640 or 160. The current passing in the primary coil قال لي 100 ampere 4 ampere 5 ampere 8 ampere. Answers number 5. V primary equal 2500 multiply 0.8 equal 2000 volt. But the V secondary divided V primary equal 1 divided 20. So ال N secondary over N primary equal V secondary over V primary، يعني equal 1 divided 200 equal VS divided 2000. So ال potential difference in secondary coil equal 100 volt. But ال N secondary divided N primary equal I primary over I secondary، يعني 1 divided 20 equal I primary divided 20. So إن ال current equal في ال primary coil 4 ampere. Problem number 6. A transformer work under primary volt. وقال لي هنا 2020 volt. It has 2 secondary coil. One fed a pill 6 volt and 0.4 ampere, and the other to feed a lamp 12 volt and 0.35 ampere, knowing that the number of turn of the primary coil 1100 turn. وهنا في 4 تشوز. Number 1, the number of turn in 2 coils 30 or 20, 50 or 20, 30 or 30, 30 or 60. But the current passing in the primary coil, if the bell and the lamp work together, 30 or 0.04 or 0.03 or 30 ampere. Answers V primary, V secondary over V primary, N secondary over N primary. 6 divided 220 equal N secondary over 1100. يبقى ال N secondary of bell 30 turn. But ال 12 N secondary over N primary, V secondary over N V primary, 12 divided 220 equal N secondary over 1100. يبقى ال N secondary of lamp 60 turn. But I primary over I secondary equal V secondary over V primary equal 12 divided 220 equal I primary over 0.35. يبقى ال I primary equal 0.019 ampere. So ال I primary 0.0109 plus 0.019 equal 0.03 ampere. Problem number 7. A step-down transformer is put in the end of transmitting an electric current step down the volt from 2400 to 120. If the power is produced 13.5 kilowatt and the efficiency 90%, the number of turn of primary coil is 4000 turn. Choose the number of turn of the secondary coil وعندي 4 choose. Number 1 200 turn, number 2 111, number 3 210, and the number 4 222 turn. And the current intensity in each of 2 coils وعندنا 4 choose 102.5 and 6.05, number 2 115.5 and 6.27 ampere, number 3 212.5 and 6.05 ampere, and the number 4 112.5 and 6.25 ampere. Answers number 7. Efficiency power of secondary over primary, VI secondary, VI primary equals 0.9. So, il V primary 200 multiply 0.9 equal 2160 volt. NS over NP equal VP over N over V primary. يبقى ال N primary equal 120 divided 2160 multiply 4000 يبقى equal 222 turn. يبقى 13.5 multiply 1000 equal 120 multiply I secondary. يبقى ال I secondary equal 112.5 ampere. So I secondary over I primary equal 2160 divided 120 يبقى I primary equal 6.25 ampere. Problem number 8. The transformer of the number of turn in the primary coil 200 turn work an AC effective 200 volt. If two secondary coil operate the ratio 12 and 0.5 ampere and secondary the spot 80 and 1.2 ampere. Choose the number of turn of the secondary coil 30 or 50 or 60 or 80 turn, and B, the current passing the primary coil when two devices together at the same time, half or 0.51 or 6 or 80 ampere. Answers number questions 8. N secondary over N primary V secondary 1 V primary يبقى N secondary 1 divided 200 equal 12 divided 220. So N secondary 1 equal 12 turn. So N secondary 2 over N primary equal V secondary 2 over V primary يبقى N secondary 2 divided 200 equal 80 divided 200. So N secondary 2 equal 80 turn. And the power of secondary 1 VI primary equal VIS1 plus VIS2 200 ISIB equal 12 multiply half plus 80 multiply 1.2. So in I primary equal 0.51 أمبير. ودي كانت آخر حاجة في حلقتنا النهاردة. Thank you very much my high student، وإلى اللقاء في حلقة قادمة. أشكركم. Thank you very much.